And here we are today.
Friday.
We are in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. And this is a team effort. We have a team of curious members of a family that love to go out and cruise through the countryside and find things. Sometimes I'll do it on my bicycle, and sometimes we'll do it in a car. We got a little car here today that's going to do the job, but we got an old farmhouse here and an old Pennsylvania Dutch style barn here. And I'm going to remain anonymous. You can call me Curious Chris. That's as much of my name as I want to give away. And Mr. Matt, are you going to give us your last name or just your name, Matt?
Gonna give you Matthew James.
Matthew James is with me today, and we're cruising through the countryside for several days. We're going to probably do at least a half dozen videos of this cruising through the Pennsylvania Dutch countryside. And folks, if you get off the interstate in this country, there's a lot to see, and there's a lot to see close to the interstate. I can actually hear Interstate 78 from here, and I can almost see the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So don't be afraid to get off the interstates. Matt, wave your hand. I'm going to put my hand in the video. We got your hand there. Put a thumbs up. Thumbs up, okay. And Matt lives in Good Shepherd Home in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Lehigh County.
And he has a little trouble walking, but he gets around fine in his wheelchair. So that's what we do. We go places together. And we'll be adding to this channel as the opportunities come along. Sometimes we don't do this more than once a year. Sometimes we can do it twice a year because we don't live in the same states. But we often go looking for covered bridges. And we have not run out of covered bridges to find in Pennsylvania. There's hundreds of them, and they're in very good repair. This one here has had the stonework all repointed, and the paint is new on the inside and outside of the bridge. This is called the Guth's Bridge, G-U-T-H, or Guth's Bridge. And this is the Jordan Creek, which is a branch of the Lehigh River that it is spanning, and it's quite a large span. And right up the road, there's another bridge. We're going to continue this channel, this YouTube channel, at the next bridge up the road. And we'll be there momentarily, so stay tuned. And here we are at our next stop, just a mile from that previous bridge, which was called the G-U-T-H, Guth or Guth's Bridge. And Matthew James, can you tell Curious Chris where we are now?
Over at the Ware's Bridge.
Ware Bridge, W-E-H-R. Either Ware or Weir, I don't know. But there is a weir behind it, W-I-E-R, which is a small dam. And I am going to go get a closer look at this bridge, and I'll be right back. Matt, be right back. So this one is freshly painted too, and it's spanning the same creek, which is Jordan Creek, which drains this entire part of Lehigh County and probably parts of the surrounding counties as well. And there's a small waterfall behind it, man-made, maybe 6-8 feet high, that may have been used to divert water through a sawmill or a grain mill here. A lot of times the covered bridges were built near the mills that were water powered at the time. And if the mill's no longer here, the covered bridge is still here for historical reasons. So this is the Ware or Weir Covered Bridge, W-E-H-R, in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. We've got this nice little cascading waterfall just behind it on the Jordan Creek. And if we go inside, it's a fairly busy road, but I'm going to try to show you guys how these bridges were built. It's a possibility there would have been a sawmill here at the time just for cutting up the timbers to make the bridge. But this is got the wooden arches supporting it. This is a pretty long span for a bridge to be solid enough to hold up the traffic. So use that parabolic shape in the arch to create the strength that the bridge needs to hold itself up. The longer bridges often have that inside them. And it may be hard to see, but this whitewashed board up here was actually cut with a broad axe, probably before they even had a sawmill operating in this part of the country. So there's a lot of history to be found on these back roads, just a stone's throw from the suburbs and the interstates. And we'll be continuing on in this area for more covered bridge tours. And this is Curious Chris and Matthew James here at the entrance to the Geiger's Bridge. I'll try to zoom in and show the name above it. Just below the clearance sign, it says Geiger's Bridge in small print. Similar design as to the other two we've seen today, with the wooden arches in the middle to help support the weight of the bridge itself and the vehicles. And this is spanning the Jordan Creek, just like the other two that we've shown. Nice little place to pull over here. There's a parking lot across the street here and a wide spot here where you're not supposed to park, but we're just pulled over. And the Jordan Creek is very scenic here. And we're at the south end of the Lehigh Valley Zoo property, which has miles of hiking trails along this creek, many of which are handicapped accessible. We have been out in Matt's wheelchair here several times and explored this area in the warmer months. It's not a bitterly cold day today here, but it's more like fall right now. Matt, you want to say anything about the Geiger's Bridge?
It's red and white
Red and whitewashed on the inside.
yeah,
Yes. And what creek are we spanning here?
Lehigh County.
The county is Lehigh County. And what creek do we go across this time?
Lehigh Creek.
Jordan Creek, which goes into Lehigh River. This is the fourth bridge we've been on today that spans the Jordan Creek. So we're going to zoom on in here and just take one more look at this very scenic area. And right up the road here, there's an old concrete ford you can actually drive your vehicle through. If the water's not too high, we may go looking for that next. Here's the inside of this bridge with those big wooden arches. And again, some hand-hewn beams just to show you how old the woodwork is in this bridge. Some beautiful hemlocks overhanging the creek here. This is all natural areas out here. There's no houses right in this immediate area, but lots of hiking trails, including a crushed stone trail here called the Covered Bridge Trail, which is handicap accessible, and it's about 1.5 miles long. So a great place to come for people of all abilities here at the Lehigh Valley Zoo property. And just a 1/2 mile or 1 mile upstream from the Geiger's Covered Bridge, the handicap accessible trail crosses Jordan Creek here on a very nice bow arch bridge there. But if you're driving your car through this end of the Lehigh Valley Zoo, you got to do things the old-fashioned way. There's actually a concrete ford here. And just by luck, here comes a car to show us how it's done. We just drove through it in a small car. And let's see if this little Toyota Prius has got the nerve to give it a try. It's got about 6-8 inches of water, and I think he's going to take another way out of here, but we'll see. I'll make a video of another car as it comes through. But back in the day, this was the way you got around. There weren't covered bridges everywhere. There was concrete fords and just gravel fords in a lot of part of this country. A lot of streams don't have heavy water in them for many days of the year, so you could get around with just a ford. And many towns are named after fords. Milford, Pennsylvania is up the Delaware River from here. And any town with the name Ford after it is named after the ford in the body of water that is trying to cross, either river or stream. But this one is a more modern ford. It's actually poured concrete, reinforced concrete with some grooves in it so you can keep your traction. And there's a gate that they close when the water's too high or frozen. So this is the Jordan Creek, and it's a very scenic creek with all kinds of hiking trails back here. This is the Lehigh Valley Zoo property, and it's actually called the Trexler Nature Preserve, where the hiking trails are. So if you Google that, you'll end up here with all kinds of things to do. At least a full day's worth of activity. And there goes somebody in a higher clearance vehicle, having no trouble fording the creek today. So that worked out great. And I'm going to pause here, and we'll get Mr. Matthew James in the video. And Matthew James, we're back on tape here. I paused it for a minute. I got a video of somebody going through, what's this called here? What do you call it when you don't use a bridge?
The water, you go through the waterfall.
The ford, yes. It's not a waterfall, thankfully. But this is a concrete ford over the Jordan's Creek. And this is all just within, all these stops we've made today are all within 15 minutes of each other. So there's a lot to see in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania without doing a lot of driving. And we're going to stop for now, but there's another bridge on the map that we're going to go look for in a few minutes. And our fourth cover bridge of today is our first day together on this channel. Curious Chris and Matthew James. We've been to the Guth bridge, Guth, and the Wehr. Pardon my German's a little rusty. Wehr bridge. And we've been to the Geiger's bridge, and here's another German one, the Schlichter's bridge. Schlichter. And this is probably the most scenic spot, this one right here. You just got some beautiful overhanging trees and a bright red paint on it, and a pedestrian bridge just downstream from it over the same creek, the Jordan Creek. And there's miles of hiking trails all over this Trexler Nature Preserve. And what a great place to spend the afternoon, either on an auto tour or on foot or on the handicap accessible trails. And Matthew James is in the car and he couldn't quite get down here, so we're going to just keep him out of this video. But we will include him on tomorrow's adventure. So stay tuned.